This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Right, all right. And by the way, remember that Welt Rheaume commercial I just saw. We are in hurricane season, so save that number because they have their own adjusters. So if you have any damage to your home, a storm, it doesn't even have to be a hurricane, but a lot of rain and you get brown spots in your roof, you might have a leak, call them 954-966-4646. They send their adjusters over and then they attack the insurance company for you. You never have to even deal with the insurance company, and they might get you that new roof that you need. So make sure you call Welt Rheaume or save the number just in case for a rainy day, literally. All right, 954-966-4646. Michelle, how are you doing? Good afternoon.
I'm tired. I'm very tired. This is like exciting, but a grind. This tournament is because I'm not only covering InterMiami. You know, I was out there yesterday covering Mamelodi Sundowns against Fluminense, and I'm covering, you know, Boca against everybody. And, you know, it's been fun, but I'm also traveling with InterMiami. I'll be there in Atlanta this weekend. So it's been a few weeks of a lot of work, but a lot of fun, I have to say.
I gotta, and by the way, I mean, it kind of goes under the radar, but this is the most InterMiami has ever accomplished as a franchise because you could talk about it, all the points that you got last year, but it meant nothing by losing to Atlanta. Like the entire season meant nothing after you did all of that. The fact that you beat Porto, okay,
Yeah.
and then you tied here with Palmeiras, and then you moved on to the knockout round. This might be the greatest accomplishment of InterMiami's existence so
Well, it's
far.
not might. You can drop the might. They've already won more than $20 million, by the way, just for getting to the round of 16. They got 9.5 million for participating, $2 million for their group stage win over Porto, $1 million for each of the two ties. So that was $2 million more dollars. And then 7 something for reaching this round. So they've already just right now, they go home. They're coming home $20 million, almost $21 million richer than when they got there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from a financial standpoint, already the club has made, you know, a lot of money, but really equally or more important or whatever, they're the only MLS or CONCACAF team to, you know, to advance and to beat a European team. You know, they really are kind of holding the flag, carrying the flag for MLS, and they've definitely earned respect no matter what happens against PSG, because PSG is PSG.
Yes.
But no matter what happens on Sunday, they've reached the round of 16 in an international tournament against Al Ahly, is the African champion of that whole region of Africa. They are the champion and multiple time Egyptian champion. So Miami advanced past them, advanced past Porto, 30-time Portuguese champion. I mean, yes, they were having a down year this year, but still
doesn't matter.
It's a traditional team with a lot of Portuguese national team players. They beat them and beat them fair and square. And then to tie Palmeiras, a Brazilian, you know, Copa Libertadores champion, and with the crowd that the Palmeiras people brought, it was really, you know, they beat a team from South America, a powerhouse from South America, a powerhouse from Europe, and a powerhouse from Africa. So, you know, for an MLS team, I don't care if it has Messi or doesn't have Messi. For an MLS team with the salary restrictions that they have, I just did a story yesterday, which I encourage all you InterMiami. Well, of course, I want the InterMiami fans to read all of my coverage, but I did a story yesterday on. I got a hold of the salary list that was released yesterday afternoon, but I had it yesterday morning. The whole list from the MLS-PA. They put the list out of every player in MLS, all the salaries, and when you look at Noah Allen is making $125,000. Yannick Bright, $80,000. $80,000. Yannick Bright. You know, Ian Frey also around 125,000. They are going to be going up against players with PSG that are making multi-millions of dollars. So for an MLS team, yes, they have the 4 stars who make more money. They make $1 million plus, of course, and Messi, the Messi factor. But the rest of the squad is quite an accomplishment for a team with that kind of salary restrictions, that kind of youth, and guys who were just playing at Weston FC a few years ago, and
Yeah.
now going to be playing against PSG in the round of 16 of an international tournament. It's already an achievement. No matter
Big
what
time.
happens on Sunday, it's already an achievement.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. This I don't really look at this as this big tournament for any of these international teams, but for Inter, the competition for them to go through this experience, that part is priceless. Not for Messi and those guys, they've been in this a billion times, but like you mentioned, all those young guys, this is priceless what they're going through, and so hopefully this helps out when they do return to MLS play, and it makes those people around Messi, a lot better. I mean, the Segovia rip against Porto,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
that was awesome. That was
yeah.
that was that was awesome.
Yeah, and Maxi Falcone has been playing on Ustadi. Ustadi, not that he's young, but he had been, good, but had some bad. He's been very, very good in this
Yes,
tournament.
yes.
He's really stepped up in this tournament.
Yeah,
So
big time.
yeah, as a team, we have to remember. I looked at the calendar because it's hard to believe. Exactly 1 month ago, exactly 4 weeks ago, this team was in a horrible spiral downward. They were in a 7-game stretch where they had won only one game
I
and
know.
they had conceded 20 goals.
Looking
People
old.
were saying that Javier Mascherano should be fired. Everybody was, a lot of fans were panicking. A lot of people were saying, oh my God, this team is terrible. What's going on? The older guys, they've lost it. And then they, whatever. And 1 month later, they're having this improbable run, in this tournament. So things have definitely turned around for Mascherano, for the team as a whole. The fans, I'm sure, are enjoying this run. And we'll see what happens on Sunday. Even so, like I said, just getting to this point, I think is already a major, major achievement for this team.
Oh, big time, big time. I mean, it's just absolutely awesome to me. It doesn't matter what happens on Sunday. I didn't expect them to get here, to be quite honest. I thought there were going to be kind of embarrassing matches here. No, I thought they would hang with Ali, but then the other two matches I was terrified of, and they were fantastic, and it ended up working
Yeah.
out. So, for me, it's kind of like turn. The question is, will this roll into them becoming different than the team that we were watching in the MLS struggle a little bit,
Well,
and
they
hopefully,
started, they started the little turnaround. The question, they had a little turnaround there where they
yes,
tied, Philadelphia, which is in first place. They tied them, and then they beat Columbus five
right,
one. If you recall, that was like the big, oh my goodness, they beat Columbus 5-1. But then there was that 2-week break for the FIFA break, and the question was, would they be able to carry that momentum over into this tournament because they had guys away, including Messi and whatever. I did think one telling thing was that Lionel Messi, the night that he played the Argentina game against Colombia, uh, World Cup qualifier, he came like on an overnight flight to get back to training. He went straight from the airport in his Argentina gear to the InterMiami training facility very early in the morning. He was there by like 6 a.m. and he had just played the night before at like 8:30, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And the players all said that to them was a message about how seriously he was taking this tournament. The fact that the GOAT came back so quickly to get back to their training camp, because it was only 2 days before, he came back on the 12th, and their first game was June 14th. So he had only 48 hours to get ready for this game against Al Ali. And, the players, the teammates all said that was a message to them that, hey, if he's taking this that seriously, we need to get our butts in gear, you know. And they were all the big four were all they seem very highly motivated. And I think, you know, part of it is like these guys all left Europe. When guys leave Europe to come to MLS, there's always this sort of, you know, there's kind of I don't know, a feeling like, oh, well, they left Europe because they're going to the easy league to, you know, to ease into retirement and stuff like that. I think all those four really wanted to show that they can still play because they knew the level of competition that they're about to face. They know who is coming over for this tournament, and they have played against many, many, many of these players from all these different teams, whether it be South American powers or the European powers. They've played against these guys. They know these guys. They didn't want to embarrass themselves. They didn't want their team to be embarrassed by those teams because it looks bad. Then it looks like, oh my God, you know, these guys are over here playing in this crap league and they're, you know, they're whatever. I think that there was a lot on the line for those four players personally, deep inside their souls, you know, that they wanted to show, hey, you know, our team is not, you know, we can compete. And we came to MLS, but it's not as easy as you think. These teams are not as bad. And to be honest, look, Seattle and LAFC, they did not advance, but they didn't get beat 10-0 either. They didn't get beat 8-0. I mean, PSG beat Seattle, I think it was 2-0, a respectable score. And LAFC, you know, had a respectable game against Chelsea. I mean, the MLS teams have not embarrassed themselves at all. Of course, InterMiami is the one that went through of the three, but I thought that the other two did not play poorly. I think that the league did okay compared to what I think people were afraid of.
No doubt. All right. So on a lighter note, you know, when you have a jersey exchange with Alexander Barkov, InterMiami has got to do better, Michelle. Noah Allen.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on. Like, you got to have
I
at
know.
least Messi or Suarez there, dude. Come on. I mean,
Right. Well, what happened is
somebody tell
they
Messi
didn't know.
he doesn't even have to have a dialogue for this, so it's perfect for
I'm
him.
going to tell you a little behind the scenes on that. InterMiami didn't know until about a half an hour before that the Stanley Cup was going to be there or that the Panthers were going to be there. This was sprung on them literally at the stadium. Some FIFA officials told InterMiami, hey, by the way, we're going to have some special guests. You know, Barkov and these other players and the Stanley Cup are here, and we're going to show them off at halftime. Now, the Panthers brought over, you know, jerseys to swap and whatever. InterMiami, in their defense, because I talked to someone about it, they did not know that this was even happening.
It
And so what
doesn't
happened is,
matter. It doesn't
well,
matter.
yeah,
Go out and get the star and say, hey, bro, they brought their star. Come on out here. Hey, Messi, you may not know shit about hockey, but that guy is just as important
well,
in this town
Busquets is
as
a
you
big
are.
fan. By the way, Busquets is a big fan. Busquets has been to many games. Busquets is a big hockey fan. Apparently his kids love hockey. So he's been going with them to the Panther games. So that would have been a good one to have
You
Busquets
know,
over there.
overall, the team just does a half-assed job when it comes to their stars and availabilities and all that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, it just like, come on, man, do better than. And nothing against Noah Allen. He's a fantastic.
Noah's a big fan. Noah's a huge Panthers fan. So it was a big moment.
He's a South Florida kid. So yeah,
He's a Pembroke Pines. He's a Broward kid. He's a Pembroke Pines kid. He loves the Panthers. He was
I
more
got no
excited than
problems with
anybody on that team.
Noah, but just if you're the Inter-Miami team, you got to have more awareness. This is a lack of balls from within that they don't want to bother Messi too much. And that would be a bother at that moment. So let's just go get Noah Allen that he's just going to do whatever we tell him. Hey, Noah, go pick up the trash over there in the corner like Joe Philbin. And he'll go do that too. You know, hey, go sell some burgers. There's Noah Allen flipping burgers and stuff. So I kind of get what's going on behind the scenes, but it's come on, dude. It's Barkov there, the champions. Good PR, Messi, Barkov. That would be a picture that is Absolutely.
That would have gone global. No, that picture would have gone global. That
Yeah,
picture would have. And Messi with anybody goes global. It's just
exactly.
getting Messi to do anything is not that easy. As someone who
And
has
that's what I'm
tried
talking.
to cover him, for 2 years, and I've spoken to him one time on August 17th of 2023. We're going on 2 years now that he has not spoken to the local
Yeah,
media.
it's
So-
ridiculous. It's irresponsible on their part, but whatever it is. What do you got going on in the Herald? Since
Well, I
you're
do want to
so
tell you
busy?
something else. I do want to tell you something else in addition
Okay.
to this tournament that I've been busy covering.
Mhm.
On Tuesday, yes, the days are running together. On Tuesday, I got an opportunity to tour the
Oh, yes, I saw that.
construction site of the
Yes.
new stadium, and that's really been doing really well on page views. We had a video. We had a videographer and a photographer out there with me. And
Going
if you go to
fast,
Miami
man.
Herald, you go to my Twitter, Cough Sports, or you can go to MiamiHerald.com. You'll see the video and my story. So I got to go with a pink hard hat and a little vest and go into the construction site and see how's the building coming. It's a 25,000 seat stadium. For those who don't know all the details, it's right by the airport where the golf course was, the Mel Reese golf course. And it is really coming along. It's a big, giant stadium looking building now. I mean, it is a stadium. You can see the shell of it. You can see the stands, the concrete parts. The next big stage right now is the canopy. They're very excited about the canopy. The canopy is going to go, which is the roof. The middle where the field is will be open. But then there will be a canopy that goes from the touch lines all the way across all the stands and out over the concourse is going to be an outer ring concourse. Unlike the Marlins Park, which has an inner ring concourse, this will be outside. There will be the concourse. Anyway, that will all be covered by this white canopy that they're very excited about. They say, and they claim, that this will be ready for the 2026 season.
Oh, I believe it.
However, I did get them to concede that in the past, in MLS history, in the past stadiums that were built, like Audi Field in DC and the field in Austin, the MLS schedulers will probably give InterMiami a cushion. They're not going to have the opening game of the season scheduled for that stadium in case there are delays. So if there are weather delays, if there are other delays in the construction, which there can be in Miami, you were just talking about hurricanes and heavy rains and so on. I suspect that if the season starts late February, MLS, or first weekend of March, my guess is that the first several InterMiami games will be scheduled on the road to give them a 1 month cushion minimum to finish up whatever they need to finish up if they fall behind. They say that they're on schedule. They say that they're ready to open early to spring 2026. They said, absolutely, that all of the home games next season, 2026, all the home games will be played at that stadium.
They built that last
question
stadium
is,
in eight.
when
They
is the
built
first? When
they
is the
built the
first
last
home
one
game?
in 8 months. So I
Yeah.
would
That was a
listen.
yeah. That was
don't
not
put,
that was not a concrete stadium. That was a Lego set.
I may not trust Moss to do things very organized when it comes to his soccer business, because there is a lot of craziness that goes on. It's just that they're
But
so
he knows
filthy.
construction. He
They're
knows
so
construction.
filthy. They're so filthy rich that they'll make them a bunch of mistakes, and they'll just continue to buy their way out of these mistakes when it comes to the personnel side. But when it comes to the construction,
They know construction. Moss. It's
they
the
know
Moss family. They know about
they
construction.
know
They know
their
about laying
shit,
down cable,
bro.
laying down electronics, laying down everything. So yeah, I think with the guy you
They
spoke to,
can't
the
keep
vice
a coach
president.
and a general manager in place, but they're going to be able to construct whatever the hell they want and as fast as they want.
They'll bring in 500 people. They'll have 500 people working 24-hour a day shifts. Whatever they'll do.
Private
They're gonna.
money, man. Private funding is a whole different world than public funding.
Yeah, they will. They've already done. I mean, the stadium it looks quite good right now compared to where it was even, 3 months ago. So they have 9 months right now. I would say 10 months. If you add the 1 month cushion, which I'm just counting on that, they have 10 months. They have 10 months to get it ready. It's a 25,000 seat stadium. There's going to be a 5,000 parking spots on site. And the first phase of the big park, because the park has many elements, the first phase that they're looking to finish by the start of when they start playing there is obviously the stadium, the parking garage, the surface parking spaces, and then there will be like a little sort of main street type street that's going to have some dining, some bars, and some retail that'll go kind of from the parking area into the stadium and the park. The 58-acre park, they also plan to finish in time for the stadium. After that phase is done, then they're talking about the hotel, the office building, the this and that. But that first phase is all that. And then I've been asked by some people who read my story, they wanted to know about transportation and about traffic and all that. I will tell you that in addition to the 5,000 parking spaces, which they are very excited to announce, it's the most of any MLS stadium, they said, having 5,000 on-site parking spaces. But in addition to that, the stadium is it's going to be across a pedestrian walkway, across a walkway from the Tri-Rail and the Metro Rail stations by the airport. So, the airport transportation center is kind of over there near where the Sheraton Hotel is. That is where the stadium is, on that northeast corner of where the Mel Reese Golf Course was. That is where the stadium is. So the idea is that people will take Tri-Rail from Broward and Palm Beach County or whatever. They can take Tri-Rail to that airport station, and then it'll be a short walk to the stadium. And then the Metro Rail will also have a station there. So if that really does happen, as they say it will, that's going to really be wonderful, because I just came from Atlanta and I'm going back to Atlanta to Mercedes-Benz Stadium this Sunday. And one of the beautiful things about that stadium is, like, my brother has a vacation home in North Carolina, and he wanted to go to the game with his wife, the Inter-Miami game. They drove into the outer skirts of Atlanta, parked in a parking lot at MARTA, took the MARTA train full. He said, my brother said every person on that train was wearing either Porto or Inter-Miami or Argentina shirts. The whole train's filled with soccer fans going to the match. It drops you off across the street from the stadium. You literally go over a walkway over the road and you're inside the stadium. It's so easy. And I can say that getting into stadiums in South Florida between Hard Rock, which I have been doing now for these games here with the Club World Cup, and I'm going to have to do again for the World Cup next summer, getting in and out of stadiums in Miami, whether it be Chase or whether it be Hard Rock, it's not easy. There is not good public transportation to the stadiums. And if they can pull that off and have Tri-Rail and Metro Rail, I think that that's going to be a wonderful thing for soccer fans in South Florida.
I'm with you there. All right. Follow her on Twitter at Kauf Sports. Catch more of that coverage and the videos and her podcast also on InterMiami there at the Herald website, and of course at her Twitter page, or X, whatever you want to call it, at Kauf Sports. Michelle, as always, thank you for taking some time. Get some rest and enjoy the football.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy being on your show. Thanks.
Pleasure is mine. You're awesome. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you. There you go. She is off and running to Atlanta, baby. PSG and Inter-Miami. That is awesome. Good shit, man.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.